Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. We're approaching a massive test series between India and England. We saw the reverse in the beginning of the year where India dominated and beat England in India. Now it's England's turn to use home conditions. I just saw the other day, today, Michael Vaughan posting a picture where he has a tree, he has some plants on the pitch and everything. So let's see what England bring. Initially, there'll be a lot of talk about the pitch, but there's a lot to talk about anyway. I have with me Mr. Aziz. How are you doing?
Good, man. I'm looking forward to it. Just a couple of days left.
Yeah, there's a big build up going on. I mean, with the Olympics and stuff, not so much focus as we normally have before a test series, but still, there's a lot of talk. And today we found out from India's side of things, the injury list continues. Mayank Agarwal gets concussion in the nets from a delivery from Mohammad Siraj. I don't know whether they need to stop Siraj bowling in the nets or, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe just bowl at the wicket or something. But yeah, injuries have been a big issue. Now, we don't know what the opening pair will be because that's two openers back in the shed for India without a ball being bowled. So firstly, your thoughts on that?
First off, before I start off, I want to say Siraj is a feisty character, man. That guy, I don't know what's up, but he needs to just take it a little easy, I think, in the nets.
He's proving a point that he wants to
Yeah.
play.
I
Yeah.
love his characteristic. I mean, I like the way he's completely at it, but I just feel like that kind of thing needs to be a more of the opposition batsman than his own, because if, a situation like this where Mayank Agarwal I feel like he's been very very unfortunate with injuries every time because he had a very very good start to his test career, and then things have just not worked out in his favor, and it was a great chance for him to come back on because Gill was injured and now he's gone away as well. So it's going to be a little tricky, but I agree. There's a lot of the injury list keeps going on and on with Indians, especially when they go to tours. You've seen that in Australia when they
Yeah.
went, so many people got injured suddenly, and so many people were not available and stuff like that. And it's already started over here, and it's just the beginning of the tour. There's still about four test matches left, so there's a lot of time left in this game in the series as well. So it's a little concerning. But the good thing is the likes of Shaw and Surya Kumar will be joining them. Uh, on the basis of just this one, we know that Virat and Ravi Bhai don't have that faith in Ishwaran because they asked for Shaw and Padikkal back a couple of weeks back, and that request was apparently denied. So I don't think Ishwaran will probably start because I don't think that the team has that kind of faith in him. But with that being said, then the only option is KL Rahul. One other
But
thing that I
that's so
want to add.
strange. They should have not taken Isarwan in the first place. They should have taken Shaw and sent Isarwan to Sri Lanka, or just played another batsman in Sri Lanka. If you want Shaw, you need to state that from before. In the middle of you have to anticipate these things. They anticipated they had a net batsman, but they got the wrong one.
Yeah,
It
I
seems.
agree. I agree. It looks odd. I mean, I guess they wanted the Shaw to play because he's more likely to feature in the future of a lot of places in the Indian opening spot, right? And Ishwaran's probably not proven himself that much, and they didn't expect two of the openers to be injured, I guess, with Gill and to Mayank Agarwal. So I guess Shaw is eventually going there, so it's a nice thing. But I think that they will go with Rohit and KL because I think both of them have a good temperament, and I think that they will probably be the best opening pair going into this series with the kind of experience that they kind of portray as well. So that'll be nice. There's just one thing that I want to add. When the World Test Championship finished, Virat came out and said a few things that maybe give us an indication that Pujara might not be his place might be a little suspect. But now with all these injuries and all these
Yeah.
problems with the Indian batting, I think he gets a chance. If he scores a big ton over here, I think he's getting one last chance to prove his point. I think maybe one or two tests at most. But if he doesn't do it in these two tests, maybe Surya Kumar takes that number three spot from him.
Yeah, there's going to be chopping and changing, especially if India lose the first couple of games. But yeah, for me, I don't understand that situation. You have an opening batsman there, you'll have to play him because unfortunately two got injured. But it looks like they're going to go with KL Rahul. Is it fair on him? For me, I think Rahul is now in a certain stage where he'll take anything because he's in every squad, but not in every starting 11, right? He's not even getting a starting 11 in the T20s recently, I remember. So he will take any position that he gets to bat. For him, it's difficult because sometimes he's given the glove, sometimes he's a middle order batsman, sometimes he's the opening batsman. So it'll be difficult for him in that that sense, but he's played in England. He scored 100 there, albeit a lot of failures before that 100 in that series. But he knows what he's got what it takes over there. He knows the challenges which will be there in England on offer. So I think that will probably be the best option. But either way, there will be criticism because you've taken 3 backup openers. You're not going to use one because suddenly you have an issue with that. So I think there will be criticism either way. But if you look at the bowlers, there's a lot of competition there from India side of things. How do you see this panning out? Ishant Sharma, there's some talk that he's not fully fit, but which seamers are you playing?
So sorry, I lost you there. Just can you repeat the question? I think you're talking about the bowlers.
Yeah, so there's some rumors that Ishant Sharma is not fully fit, but let's just say that he might be fit. Let's go through your starting 11 and which bowlers you play. So let's go with the batsmen first, all the way down to the bowlers.
Yeah, I think India, the kind of the team itself, honestly, because of a couple of injuries and a couple of players that they don't trust per se, or whatever. But I think Rohit and KL to open, and then Pujara at 3, Kohli at 4, Ajinkya at 5, Bihari at 6. Jaddu at 7, Ashwin at 8, and then I'd go with the of course for me with the top 3. If Ishant is injured, of course Siraj takes his place. But as of right now, it's Ishant, Shami, and Bumrah at 9, 10, 11 for me.
So Vihari is gonna keep for you?
Oh.
No, that's completely fine. So I think it's a straight swap there, Vihari for Rishabh Pant. Yeah,
completely slipped my mind.
No, it's because you put Rahul opening. You counted Rahul as an extra player, but he's just replacing the opening batsman. So so there you go, Rishabh Pant at 6. The thing is, Vihari, if he does play in this team, he'll probably come opener. So then it's your call, Rahul or thing. And also you're playing Rahane, right? Rahane, there's rumors that he's not fit. That's why I think you wanted to play Vihari instead of Rahane. No, that's completely fine. But let's just say that if Rahane is fit, then Vihari doesn't play. But if Rahane is not fit, then Vihari plays in Rahane's position. Yeah. So Rishabh Pant at 6. And the bowlers you're going, Ishant, Bumrah and Shami, you said.
That's my ideal option. Yeah.
Just very quickly on Jadeja, so you're playing him specialist batsman because we saw in the World Test Championship he didn't get to bowl too much, and in these conditions, especially with what happened in India, I don't think there's going to be a lot of turn on offer.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100% over there. But I just feel like I've always gone with this 5 bowler theory. Unfortunately, in the top 6, none of the Indian batsmen even can turn their arm around a little bit. So if the only other option is maybe bring in Bihari at 7 or either or, but bring in Bihari as the extra batsman because you just give him about 7 or 8 overs. But I just feel like Jaddu gives you enough with the bat as well because he's proven time and again, and I think he adds to the balance of the side. And you see a string of right-hand batsmen, so maybe Pant and Jaddu are the only probably the only left-hand batsman that you have in the whole team. So just to change it up a little bit, I just go with Jaddu. It's extremely harsh on Bihari because I think that he's a talented test match batsman, but I just because of the fact that there is this instability, maybe go with Bihari as an opener. I'm totally okay with that as well. But I would go with Jaddu just on the basis of him proving time and again that he's more than handy with the bat, and then he can give you a couple of. He's not only a spin kind of bowler. Yes, in a spinning wicket he'll be very, very lethal. But I think he's also a little bit of a thinking bowler that kind of helps. Sometimes when you 15-20 overs when the other team's getting that partnership going, I feel like he has something in the bank to just change it up just a tad bit.
Yeah, no, 100%, and no, I agree with you there. I think in terms of now he'll have to play as a specialist batsman because if he's not gonna get that, and he's shown in Australia that he can, I think Jadeja. But let's see how that side of thing goes. I think you've nailed the Indian side of things. We've covered
very simple, except of course I completely missed Pant over there. But of course, it was a simple one.
So and for me, I think I don't know how, but they'll have to somehow get Siraj into the team because it's better that he breaks the opposition's helmets and stuff than in the nets. And also, I just felt that it's not even about ideally this is a very controversial call, but I would go Shami, Siraj, and Ishant Sharma. I wouldn't go Bumrah, but Bumrah is a lethal bowler. It's just that recently he has not been at his best. He's not been himself. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. But of course, it's a risk. Like, Bumrah can turn up at any time to pick up wickets. So I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah.
But it's good to see. And one player I think India will miss definitely. You will agree with me, is Bhuvneshwar Kumar, because in these conditions you need somebody who can swing the ball both ways. I think that's something that India is lacking going into this series. But if we very quickly move on to England, I think they're missing two big stars as well, Joffrey Archer and Ben Stokes.
Yeah.
Archer unfortunately still hasn't recovered since that freak incident in the IPL with the fish tank. And Ben Stokes, unfortunately, you can have all the stardom in the world, you can win World Cups, you can win Test matches on your own, but mental health is something that is none of our control. And unfortunately, he has to take a break. And hopefully, this break does him good. And wishing him all the best. But if you look at it from the cricket side of things, it's a huge blow, especially the Ben Stokes, because he provides both with bat and ball, and he disturbs that balance when he's not there.
Absolutely. I think I hope Ben Stokes feels better and whenever he decides to come back, we'll obviously welcome him. The cricketing world will welcome him with open arms. But as of right now, yes, let him take a break, let him do his thing. A big blow for England, no doubt about it. But I think the fact that the fact that they have some other grooming youngsters coming in, and especially the likes of Sam Curran, who's
Yeah.
he's not the level of Ben Stokes as of right now, but I think he can really bring in that stability in the team that at that number 7 spot that really helps. So
They're missing Vokes too. I think he's a key player as well. If
it
he
would have
was
been
there, I
beautiful if
think,
they had that 6, 7, 8 kind
yeah,
of.
Vokes would have been perfect because he'll bat as well against Pakistan. I remember last summer he batted beautifully in England. So
Yeah.
I think
They have Ollie Robinson
Ollie
who
Robinson,
can knock it around a little bit. So
So we
they're
say
still
India
quite a
has depth, but
upper.
so does England.
Oh,
Squad depth.
absolutely. I mean, these are the top two sides in world cricket right now in all three formats, in terms of squad depth, in terms of players coming
But
in.
the problem is one of them, which
performing.
is England. They don't take Test cricket seriously unless India comes to town. Otherwise, they don't take it as. Even when they travel to India, they didn't play their best 11. So that's something they will have to focus on. And I think a lot of people now will lose patience. So I think this series they'll have to make a mark.
And yeah, I agree 100%. And one other thing is, of course, Joffrey Archer. I don't understand what the issue is with the freak incident, and then he hasn't really come back, turned around and come back. Hopefully they can figure that out. But because I think he's a key player to the side. He brings in that extra bit of pace. He brings in that he can also chip in with the bat as well. Every now and again. So he's a key player as well. I'm looking forward to see when he comes back in kind of what form he is. It's good that he's taking a little bit of an extended break because he'll be fresh when he comes back. He looked a little bit jaded, especially in that period where he was going for a lot of runs. I think earlier in the year, was it against India or someone else? But I don't remember exactly. But he looked a little jaded, so it's nice that he's gotten a few months off. Hopefully he'll come back fresh and he'll provide what he's shown us in glimpses. But with that being said, I think they still have a strong side. So and they will have a revenge on their minds because they lost pretty badly against India, and now it's their chance to turn the tables against India. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know if Moin Ali, I remember recently he also took a break from cricket, but I don't know why he's not in this test squad because 2 series in a row against India, he's been like the man of the series in terms of, picking up wickets. And we say it doesn't turn, but somehow he finds turn. He's the only bowler out of everybody who finds turn and picks up wickets. No matter who the other spinner is, it doesn't matter. Moin Ali is the main guy. So I'm surprised he's not in the squad, but yeah, I think
Stokes gone. I think he would have added a little bit more stability as well in that
stability. Yeah, but no, for sure. But like you said, they still have backup options and all rounders. That's the difference between England and India. I feel that India don't have that Hardik Pandya replacement, whereas England have 5 of them. And 3 of them are injured, and they still have all rounders to come and fill that spot. So I think that's the difference over there. It's about that setting, that system. You play a certain system, and you just get players to fill in that system. And I think England can do that. So just very quickly, their lineup will go with Rory Burns opening the batting with Sibley.
Yeah.
And then 1 down, Johnny Bairstow.
Right.
2 down will go Joe Root.
Yeah.
3 down, Ollie Pope.
Yeah.
And then Joss Butler. That's at 6. And then 7 is Sam Curran. 8, Ollie Robinson. Then we have the tail. So Anderson, Broad, and Leach.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
You're going with Leach as your spinner. Yeah. Anderson, Broad, and Leach. So yeah, that's the thing. Even with Anderson and Broad, honestly, I might just drop one and play Mark Wood just to get something different, because that guy is really quick as well, right? He
Even
has the
Craig
pace.
Overton's, he has that height and that kind
Craig
of.
Overton as well. He can play. And Ollie Robinson is also really tall, so watch out for him. I think he can do the Jameson effect on India. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think Broad or Anderson for Wood, maybe play them alternate, because it's a 5 match series, so don't play them every single game. You can bring in Wood and rotate that, I think, for England.
it's nice. We didn't get Hasib Hamid in the starting 11, but it's nice to see him back in the side as well. He's
He might even get a position in the starting 11, because
no,
he had a wonderful tour game, right, against India. So you never know. Maybe not in the first test, but it's a long series. So I think that's why also rotation will be very important. That's the key in this series, how the players are rotated and how the bench players contribute, because that's what India won the series in Australia. But the main difference is in Australia, it doesn't swing as much as it does in England, and swing has been like the biggest issue for Indian teams in the past and subcontinent teams in the past. So how are you looking at this series? First of all, your
very hard to
prediction,
predict this one. Very hard to predict this one.
and then I'll ask you a couple more questions to end it.
I think 3-1 to England.
3-1. This is the first time, I think, in 1 year you haven't predicted India to win a series.
I just think that this is just too much in the bucket.
This is
for
India's, what do you say, kryptonite, right? I mean, what do you call that? Like, where you just can't go past it.
Yeah, they can beat them.
But yeah, I think, but like in all seriousness, this India has to win this series, because I think it's a perfect opportunity. You still have big players missing from England as well, right? Like, when without Ben Stokes, it does destroy the balance. Again, I think the series will be decided by the tail, which tail bats better, and we saw that in the World Test Championship. We're going to see it again here. And if Sam Curran starts scoring those 80s and 90s, then it's a problem. Yeah, players to watch out for from each side.
Sam Curran for me for sure, 100%. I think that I'm really looking forward to seeing how he kind of takes the role of the main all-rounder per se, so to say, because Ben Stokes is now not available, unfortunately. So he has to be the main kind of all-round state to kind of finish these innings, get that 300 to maybe 350, 370 mark, and then pick up those wickets, especially when they need it. Stokes always used to come in and provide with the in the wickets column as well. So Sam Curran needs to step it up on that front as well. I think Sam Curran is a little bit more of a bowling all-rounder, versus Stokes was a little bit more of a batting all-rounder. So it's a little bit more there's a slight difference over there. But I want to see how Sam Curran steps up. And from the Indian side, Cheteshwar Pujara, like I said in the beginning of the pod as well, very, very important first couple of games for him. If he doesn't score in these first couple of games, I think he will be dropped, and it would be a very, very heartbreaking thing, because he only plays test matches for India. So it would be very, very heartbreaking for me to see him get dropped like that. I would want him to go out on his own terms. But I do think with the way the Indian management handles things, I do think that is going to be tricky. So that's why for me, Pujara, I watch out for. At least for a couple of games, and then maybe I'll change things around.
Yeah, the Sam Curran thing, he was the difference maker in that last year, especially with the bat, right, where he was wagging with the tail. But for me, I'm going Ollie Robinson just because of his height. And again, with the bat, he can also chip in. But that height, we saw what Jamieson did against India, that extra bounce. Even if they both good length, it's just that the batsmen get confused whether to step out on the front foot or play on the back foot. I think he will cause that confusion in the Indian batsmen. And from India's side, I'm going back to the original formula. It's been 3 years since I said this, but the player to watch out for me has to be Virat Kohli, because whatever you mentioned about Pujara, it applies to Kohli. But a lot of people are not going to talk about it because he's captain, but he has not scored 100, in a long time now. They've lost a World Test Championship. They've lost a few series here and there. They haven't won a ICC title in a while. So going into this T20 World Cup, I think Virat Kohli needs this series win. He needs some runs under his belt. He needs that confidence going individually and even as captain. I think both. He needs from both ends. He needs some positive signs. So I think it's a big, big series for him from that side of things.
I think there's a fair shot. I mean, Virat Kohli has been struggling a little bit with the bat, and we've been talking about his captaincy being a little bit of an issue as well. So you're absolutely right. There are few very big few critics like us who've already started talking about this, and the more this goes on without a win or kind of some kind of a dramatic win or something, at least the more this is going to be more and more people are going to catch on to it. So it's something that he needs to nip in the bud, so to say.
Yeah, and his box office, you want to see him perform. You want him to come and score those hundreds. It's been a very long time, and
Yeah.
it affects the team as well. When Virat Kohli, of course, there have been occasions where he scores hundreds and India lose, like that first test in England in the last series. But India do compete on a very good level when Virat Kohli is in form, and I think that's very important. But more than that, I think it'll help him mentally, and it'll allow him to make better calls as captain if he can just have be in form in terms of batting as well.
100%, no doubt about
Yeah,
it.
I think that wraps it up. We'll tomorrow we might have a live session, or we might just discuss something very quickly before the match starts. But I think this is our preview. Any last thoughts? Anything going into this test match that you want to talk about?
No, I'm just looking forward to how India handles the swing, man. That's been the one Achilles heel, so to say, So
Yeah.
there's this one thing that I just want to see if there's any change. They have. I've always been complaining about the fact that they don't get enough time in the foreign tours before the tour starts. So this time they have got that time. There has not been too much practice games per se. I was expecting maybe another game or so, but at least they have the time to familiarize themselves with the conditions. They've play get a few practice runs in continuously, get some time away from cricket in England, take that break and go on. And now I feel like in terms of their mindset, they should be in a better spot versus just coming in a week before and just trying to scramble through. So hopefully this will give them that additional break that I always wanted them to have. Will this be good enough for them to perform at the level that we expect them to? Remains to be seen.
Yeah, 100%. Very well said. We'll dissect all the days and all the matches as it goes by. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will keep in touch with you and see you soon for the rest of the series.
Looking forward to it, man.
Take care.